as I'm out here in these dating freaking streets, I'm talking to these boys and they're telling me that, oh, well, you have to understand what comes along with you having 3 kids.
I just want to let you know that when you are disrespectful, consistently being a difficult wife, I hope you know that that's a reflection of your relationship with the Father. You cannot be deep and like overly spiritual and God said this and God said that, and you're disrespecting the man and the priest of your home.
Why aren't men attending church? When you go to church, you see no men. Why aren't men attending church? A female pastor told me the reason why men are not attending church because women are doing. Welcome to Rewind, my online digital platform. Let's get right to the chase. Why aren't men attending church? When you go to church, all you see is women. We're not talking about the deacons. We're not talking about the ushers. We're not even talking about the pastors. We're talking about men in the congregation. How come no men are attending church? It's all women. I find it amazing that men are not attending any type of events, not even clubs, nightclubs, mixers, single events. Men are not even going to church. What are women doing that men are not going to church? What are you doing? I've been church hopping. I've been going to different churches. My friend last month invited me to her church, had an amazing time. People were playing instruments, they were singing, dancing, clapping, playing the drums, electric guitar. Okay. You could have let go of the bongos. You could have calmed down on the bongos. But men are not attending church. Why aren't men attending church? Let's rewind and roll the clip and let's see why men are not going to church.
With you being a single mother, I'm getting extremely frustrated because nobody is out here dating and saying, hey, I want you to come take care of my family. What I am asking for is a relationship. And I think that if you are a man who is dating a single mother, yes, you have to understand that you are not just dating her, you're probably dating her kids too. But if you are a strong and alpha, a real freaking man, you're not going to talk about the fact that, oh, dating you come with all of these things unless you don't have it. You have nothing to come with. Like, if you're not in a good enough position to take on me and my 3 kids, then don't talk to me. You're just not my guy. That doesn't mean that every man out there, because I've had boyfriends, that doesn't mean that every man out there cannot take on a woman with children. And it's frustrating because I'm like, if these are the conversations that I'm having with men, what are my single mom friends out here having with men? This is so frustrating. The audacity that these guys feel like they can tell me, well, you have to know what you're coming with. Well, you have to recognize that it's not just you have 3 kids. As if I don't know that I'm a mother with 3 children is really frustrating.
I find it amazing because when you go to church, you see nothing but women. You also see women with their kids, multiple kids, by multiple baby daddies. So in the real world, or should I say the outside world, men are not attending church. Men are not attending events. Why would a man be with you with 3 kids? Not 1, not 2, 3 kids? Most of the time by 3 different baby daddies. You think men are going to take you seriously because you have 3 kids and we should settle down with you out of all the women out there that have maybe 1 kid. A lot of women have 0 kids. You think we're going to waste our time and deal with you with 3 kids? If things are so simple and things are so easy, you can get a boyfriend here and there. Why are you on here talking about men with not dealing with you because you have 3 kids? So evidently you have 0 men. You women are even harder for men that you are chasing men in vehicles.
God said this and God said that, and you're disrespecting the man and the priest of your home. It reflects your relationship with Christ. They're not two separate things. Because if you find it difficult to listen to him without interrupting him, you have a problem with self control. If you have an issue with being slow to anger and seeking understanding, you have issues with being a daughter of God. See, the very attributes that you need to be married is what God is calling you to operate in just as a daughter of God. They're not separate. Your husband just gets the overflow of your obedience to Christ. But first and foremost, I am obedient to my husband, submissive to my husband, listen to my husband, seek understanding with my husband because I honor God and that's what the Lord instructs us to do. So when you think that you can be obedient to God, submissive to God, be deep in your relationship with the Lord, but be a wreck with your husband, you're walking in deception. And I want you to go to God and repent, and then repent to your husband. And then I need you to go and dig in your relationship with Christ to figure out how you were able to be so deep with him and disrespect the covenant that you made with him.
I remember as a kid going to church with my family. Yes, my mom, my dad, my siblings. We went to church as a family. I remember looking up at the balcony, looking up behind me in church. All you seen was family. Whether it was your cousins, your friends, everyone went to church together. Everyone went to church as a whole, as a family, together. But now when you go to church, all you see is women, including me. Maybe 5 dudes in church. I'm not talking about the old heads. I'm not talking about the ones that are married. I'm talking about the single guys with the single women. No men in church. What are women doing wrong that are no men in church? Tell me in comments what city and state you come from. Tell me when you go to church, how many men do you see in church? My friend's church, she invited me to her church, and I did the same thing. No men, very little men, if any. The ones that were there were the older guys with their wives. I'm talking about the 60s, 70-year-olds, the old heads. But these women, these single women were alone. No man in church. They up there with their kids. Once again, no men in church. Why are there no men in church? What are women doing wrong that men are not attending events, not even church events? It cannot be the man's fault. It has to be something that women are doing that men are taking their way out and men are not hanging out with women.
And people get mad. The church is not a safe place for women. It never been. It's a safe place for men, but the control of women. We've been indoctrinated since we were kids. We learned how to clean properly. We learned how to fold clothes properly. We learned how to wash dishes, how to cook food. We learned all of this at a very young age, and boys are still able to keep their childhood at the same age as us. And I remember as a kid being really resentful of the women in my life. But they will always say, stay in the house with the women. But they will always clean all day. They would clean from sun up to sundown and cook food in between that. And I really hated that. I was like, when I grow up, I'm not going to be like this. Now that I'm older, I fully realize that they were groomed. They were groomed to take these positions. They were groomed to be submissive people. They were groomed to be caring women. They were groomed to be quiet and delicate. They were groomed to be this. Those sermons are directed to women. They're never directed to men. They're directed to women on being submissive women. Taking care of him, forgiving him in the name of the Lord, sacrificing yourself for him, allowing him to be your leader. And this is why I avoid men that are heavily into the church, heavily into the Bible, heavily into religion, because they're all misogynistic, they're all sexist. And you can say what you want, but church and patriarchy go hand in hand.
That's why you're alone. That's why you have nobody. You're wearing a bonnet. You have these big old Coke bottle glasses, and you're talking about being submissive, or should I say, not being submissive. Being submissive does not mean being a slave. You want somebody that's going to clean. You want somebody that's going to cook. It's nothing wrong with cleaning and cooking. Because if you're by yourself and you're alone, you're doing these things anyway. Aren't you cleaning your house if you live by yourself? Aren't you cleaning your house if you have no man? Aren't you cooking if you have no man? You doing the same thing. The only difference is that when you with somebody, your husband, you doing it for the both of you. You doing it for the family. So what are you telling me? That you nasty? You don't clean after yourself? You don't clean your home? You don't even cook? A lot of you women, 80% of black women are overweight. So if you don't cook, many of you are doing what? Eating out. This is why you're alone. This is why you're by yourselves. Ladies, gentlemen, when unfiltered analysis of videos just like this, I want you to do one thing. I want you to hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for future notifications. That way you are notified when the video comes out each and every week. Don't forget to leave a comment and let's get the conversation started. You're watching Rewind.